Next up is Matt Ingwalson. Okay. There are people that know all of the speakers. That is crazy. Matt told me about a time that he was late that he has problems explaining to others. He missed a flight out of LaGuardia. Next up. And his friends who lived in New York City insisted that he take a cab. Matt, not a New York City resident, was certain that he could take the subway in and it would be just fine. So he did that, and now he's going to talk to you about Russian authors. Welcome to the stage, Matt. How tall are you? All right, fly away.
December 22nd, 1849, Fyodor Dostoevsky is led to the firing squad. Rifles are shouldered, and then the commandant tells him, surprise, your sentence has been commuted. Instead, Dostoevsky serves 4 years doing hard labor, and he sees something wild in Russia, something delirious which yearns to submit to anything. He returns to civilization consumed with one thought: Russia needs a daddy. This is not a country that can handle freedom, and Dostoevsky is concerned that if this father figure is not Christ, the country might collapse entirely. In early works, he rails against the forces of Europeanism, intellectualism, atheism, socialism, nihilism, convinced it's all just a circus of words which allows anybody the ability to justify anything. But by 1876, Dostoevsky has buried his infant daughter and his 3-year-old son, and he's starting to wonder what's the difference between an intellectualism in which everything is permitted and a religion in which everything is forgiven. He sets to work in the first volume about a new hero, Alyosha Karamazov, a young monk seeking a better father. At the memorial to Alexander Pushkin, Dostoevsky is met with thunderous applause, but the rest of Alyosha's story will never be told. Dostoevsky dies in 1881, leaving us with the novel you know as The Brothers Karamazov. Have you read it? Fuck no. It's so long. But I think you should. Because in it, you will find the key not just to Russia, but to your own heart. Some people believe this to be the ultimate Christian novel, but when I read this book, I don't read a book about God so much as his absence. What is the point of a religion that is based on free will? If God wants to be a choice in our lives, that means he can never actually show up in them. He will never soothe our pain. He will never protect our innocent. But the devil exists in the details. And the story of the Karamazovs is told in the relationship between glorious wholes, like church and humanity and country, and the greedy, graspy, inconsistent, unworthy details that constitute them. Now, if you do decide to read this book, you should know these 4 things. First, know your translators. Constance Garnett was the icon because she was Dostoevsky's first translator, and Chekhov's, and Tolstoy's, and Gogol's, but her translations were sometimes suspect. And since they exist in the public domain, they have been co-opted by all sorts of unscrupulous publishers. The Pavir and Volonkowski translation is the one you are likely to find at your local bookstore. It is an excellent place to get started. Myself, I'm drawn to the lyrical power of the translation by Egnid Asvi. You might prefer the possessed mania of the Macduff or the quicker wit of the Michael Katz. Second, you should at least kind of understand how Russian names work. The actual, first name, patronymic, last name structure, it's not that hard to get your head around, but each one of these names comes with 1 billion nicknames, and each one of those nicknames come with 1 billion innuendos. Third, just know you're not crazy. Dostoevsky is crazy. In his books, everybody overreacts to everything. You say you're going to the grocery. Somebody is going to fall to their knees and beg you to explain the words that you have spoken, for once a thing is said, it can never be unsaid. And so now, without leaving anything out, explain these words that you have spoken. But most of all, you should just know these characters. Fyodor Karamazov, the buffoon, the rapist, the waste of space. The rejected Smerdjakov, the intellectual Ivan, the passionate Dmitri, and young Alyosha, four brothers seeking something to worship. A god, a dad, a priest, a dollar, a drink, a woman, anything that will just tell them how to live and who without this moral guidance spiral into decay. This is the Russia that Dostoevsky saw, but it is the world that we all have to live in. It is a world in which our desires and our deceits will doom our bodies, our minds, our families, and our culture. A world in which it might be better to submit to a fiction, to a story, to a God who will never reveal himself and who might not even exist, because the only alternative we have is so much worse. Thank you.
That is a very, very, very big brain. Also, could we please give it up for Matt, who did the closed captioning? Because that was amazing. I'm looking at him. He can't look at me. There it is.